Coming up, the Prime Minister speaks about economic recovery for the Exuma straw market. And a group of young men honored for their academic achievement. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Bradley Roberts, says he is calling for a public hearing into that leakage at the Rubis gas station, which may have had some long-term health implications for thousands of residents, business persons, and employees. Mr. Roberts says the Free National Movement should not be so quick to point fingers because environment issues at that Robinson Road station were experienced under the F&M administration.
No file in the Ministry of the Environment as proof of the steps taken by the F&M government to protect the interests of the Bahamian people while in government. And ministers must speak to this if he is to appear to have a modicum of credibility as a leader. Having been exposed, Dr. Minnis must apologize to the Bahamian people for the negligence and inaction of the F&M government as far back as 1996 and during its last term in office, when they had full knowledge of these environmental incidents at this very same Robinson Road site.
The PLP chairman also applauded all key stakeholders for their quick action in protecting the health and well-being of Marathon residents.
I thank the government of the Bahamas, especially the BEST Commission and the Department of Environmental Health for their decisive action, leadership, and general superintendents over the past 24 months in protecting the health and well-being of the residents and workers in the general area of the incident, and for taking all necessary steps to protect the health of the environment for future generations.
The opposition Free National Movement is calling for an apology and the resignations of the Minister of the Environment, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Education, and the Attorney General. The F&M says those leaders failed to reveal the findings of a leakage of fuel at the Rubis gas station back in 2013. Opposition leader, the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, says the oil spill is one of the worst health crises in this country and has exposed thousands of Marathon residents to hazardous chemicals that can cause more harm than good to their health.
PLP government was aware that the soil, well water used by some residents for bathing and washing, and the air they breathe were contaminated by the human carcinogen benzene that causes cancer, specifically leukemia, damages to women's reproductive organs, damages to the immune system, increasing the chances of infections.
Additionally, the opposition leader said the government has done a terrible job in informing the residents on the impact of the spill and is now asking them to begin the screening and testing of residents and to also implement proper warnings and health information so they can further protect themselves.
The opportunity for monitoring and risk reduction to persons were deliberately denied. The Ministry of Health has been non-existent in this health crisis and chose not to monitor or medically assess all exposed persons from the date of identification of this environmental disaster. There is now no way of retroactively determining any individual's net or total exposure.
Rubis has said in a statement that it has taken all necessary and possible actions to remediate the impacted areas and to avoid any risk to neighbors. Rubis said that recent samples taken from the soil and the water table in areas impacted by the spill have confirmed that there are no free hydrocarbons present in the soil and that the levels of hydrocarbons present in the water table have declined. Rubis officials have also said that all of the recommendations made by government have been incorporated into the remediation action plan over the past 2 years, and they are in constant communication with government on all issues pertaining to the Robinson Road incident. Tonight, police need your help in finding those responsible for 3 separate shootings that has left 4 men in hospital nursing wounds shortly after 10 a.m. A man was sitting in his Honda vehicle with a female friend at the junction of Alexandria Boulevard and Taylor Street, Nassau Village, when 2 males armed with handguns fired several shots at them before fleeing on foot. The man received several gunshot wounds to the upper body. He remains in serious condition. 3 hours after, a man was shot to the left elbow while standing at a bus stop on the corner of Broome Street and Blue Hill Road. He is in stable condition. And it was shortly after 9 last night, 2 men were at a home located at Matthew Street, Nassau Village, when one of them was shot to the arm and the other to the leg. Both men remain in stable condition. Investigations are ongoing. Officials at the Bahamas Electricity Corporation say they learned a great lesson following an island-wide blackout back in March, and as a result have put a number of preventative measures in place. Although most of the investigations into that matter have been completed, BEC's General Manager Kevin Basin confirmed to ZNS News there's still more work to be done.
There was a spark in the trench due to a fault that occurred. That resulted in damages to a number of pilot cables, as well as a 33 kV cable for one of our generators. The work involved repairing not only controller pilot cables, but also a generator cable. It also required repairs of generators. We have since carried out some modification with the routing of the cables in that trench, such that we would have a greater redundancy, and we've modified the way all of the cables were designed.
Coming up, young men are honored for their academics. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition.